Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Supriya Raja, and I am the founder of the Empowered Parenting Hub. Well, my channel, as you know it, focuses a lot on parenting, but specifically it is connected to your child's schooling years and the aspects which are important for schooling years, which includes reading, interest in reading, learning, building fluency, and also the other trials and tribulations connected with the school years, such as improving attention, improving confidence, etc. So in today's today's video, I'm going to be telling about, or rather, I'm going to be asking a question about, are you an empowered parent? Or what do you think defines an empowered parent? Before I go a little further into that, I would like to tell a story of a boy named Vivek. Now, I have changed his name for privacy reasons. He was in the 8th standard, or when probably around 13, 14 years, around 13 years of age when his parents approached us. The problem was the school wanted him to leave when the child reached 8th grade. Unfortunately, the school did not say anything about his not picking up school content, being slow as compared to the peers. They never said anything all these years up until the 8th grade. Till then, they were all like, he's picking up, he's doing better, he will improve. Yes, he's a little slow, but he will improve. So the parents also did not take it very seriously. But the moment the child reached 8th grade, the school called the parents and said that, look, your child just can't absorb the content, and we really doubt if he will even cross or clear the 10th board. You can imagine the shock. You can imagine the disbelief the parents would have had. And I'm sure it would have also impacted very negatively on the child also. Well, when the parents approached me, I asked, like, okay, did you get any signs of him not picking up school content, or if him being a slow learner right from grade 1? And parents said, yes, we knew something was not quite right. But because the school never mentioned anything, and when we approached school, the school said, it's fine, he will pick up with age. And also our neighbors, our immediate family members, extended family members also gave us support, saying that he will improve with age and that things will just get better by itself. Unfortunately for the parents, it didn't get better by itself, and it just got worse. The child couldn't grasp the content in 8th standard. So the school was like, he can't even grasp 8th standard content. We doubt even if he will be able to grasp 9th and 10th standard content, and he has to appear for the boards. We really doubt if he will even clear the boards. So they suggested to the parents to take the child out of the school and put the child in a special school or an inclusive school. I'm sure many of you would have either heard something like this happening to any of your friends or relatives, or even maybe if you have yourself faced a situation like this. And I really hope nobody faces such a situation where after so many years in a school, suddenly a school gives a big shocker like this. I'm not saying all schools are this way. There are some schools, especially the ones who are very focused on 100% pass in the 10th standard, or 100% pass percentage in the 12th standard. So there are certain things that, if the parents had taken action, the parents had noted and proactively done something about this, I'm sure the child wouldn't have faced a situation like this, neither would the parents. Now, coming back to this topic, what do you think is feeling empowered as a parent? And do you think these parents actually acted empowered or felt empowered themselves? You can pause this video and reflect on the story also. Well, being empowered is something very much innate, which is something comes from our mind, from our hearts, the way we think, right? And also the way we behave. Now, there are certain things which I might say constitutes feeling empowered as a parent. I'm sure you might have other points as well, which you can add in the comment box if you feel something I have missed out, or you feel something else also adds on to being empowered. First of all, I think being empowered comes from taking the power back into oneself, towards oneself, right? Empowered is like taking back that power. When you say I take back the power, power doesn't come without a responsibility. So when you say I want to take back power, you're going to be also taking 100% responsibility for how you're nurturing your child, how you're bringing up your child, what kind of environment you're creating for your child, and how you are grooming your child, right? So yes, taking back the power is also 100% responsibility. The second aspect of feeling empowered is being proactive. What do you mean by being proactive? That is, when your child is pretty young, and if you feel something is not quite right about the child from the beginning, like in terms of, can start on with delayed milestones, like if the child has started speaking late, typically by 1.5 years or 2 years, your child should have started speaking. And if the child hasn't started speaking by that time, yes, it is time to actually visit the general physician or the pediatrician to test or assess your child for any problem there. The second thing is not blindly listening to school, not blindly listening to well-wishers and family members. Yes, they have good intentions, but ultimately it is your child, right? And if there's so going to be a problem for the child, along with the child, it is you who's going to face it, not the well-wishers, not the extended family members, right? So if you think something is not quite right, paying attention to that is a must. Pausing and thinking, in spite of what people may say, pause, think, and take action immediately. If it requires going to a physician, going to a pediatrician, going for any therapy, going for an assessment, whatever that may be, just get it done, just to rule out any possibility of a disorder, any possibility of any problem. Okay, because the sooner you start addressing if there is a problem, the sooner you start, the better it gets. Let me tell you things like, and problems such as if having dyslexia, or if the child is autistic, it's not going to get improved. It is not going to improve with age. It just doesn't happen that way. It works better. It starts getting better only with intervention. That is consistent and a very directive kind of an intervention. And maybe probably a prolonged intervention also for a couple of years. So if you're going to be delaying, you're actually losing time. And especially if your child is diagnosed with something like dyslexia, you're losing time with respect to the learning gap. That is, what is the learning gap? That is, if your child's skills are at this level and the school expectations here, and if you're not addressing the problem, okay, when the child goes older, this gap is just going to increase, right? And it's going to be very difficult to bridge that gap when the child grows older. So coming back to this particular situation, in this incident, and it is a true incident, let me tell you this is not a story. When the parents brought the child to us, he was in 8th grade and his skills was like grade 2 level. What can we do? Even if you give consistent, intense intervention, it's not going to improve. It will improve to some extent, but it cannot really reach that 8th standard gap, 8th standard level. So then we had to actually get the parents prepared that, look, this is not going to happen. He is not going to really clear the 10th board. And also, accept the fact that maybe he may not be able to be, handling even college education. You have to instead think of vocational training, where he builds certain skill sets so that he gets into some kind of vocation. I know this is something like, none of the parents should go through. Instead, had the parents proactively looked into this, address the problem, a lot of issues could have been averted. The child's skills wouldn't have been so poor. The child would have definitely picked up some skills. Definitely the child would have cleared the 10th. I can tell you that. Maybe if not through that particular board, through another board, like, if like you have NIOS, that is National Open School System, where you can, a child who has a problem with the regimental learning, the child can go through that system and clear the 10th boards also. So yes, before you deciding whether a child needs to be addressed, the child's problem needs to be addressed, and just listening only to elders or neighbors or well-wishers, think for yourself, take responsibility, be proactive, and be observant. These are the very, very, very important aspects when it comes to feeling empowered and staying empowered and acting empowered. So proactivity, observation of the situation as it is, not denying. Like many parents, come and tell me like the child will be having a problem, but parents are like in denial. No, my child doesn't have a problem. It is just that she has some attention issues, but she doesn't have any typical problem. We got her tested here, we got her tested there, but it's so clear that the child has a learning disability. The child has a behavior issue, but the parents are not willing to take responsibility, not willing to address it. And they are in just total denial. That is not going to help the child, whether you like it or not. It's not going to help the child. So if you feel child, if your intuition says, many times we suppress the intuition, right? We don't listen to our intuition. And if your intuition says that something is not quite right and it has to be addressed, it has to be looked into, please take the action, look into the matter and be proactive and get into the stepway of some level of recovery, some level of improvement for the child, so that your child will have easier school years and you will not have to go through these shockers later when the child is in 8th standard, 9th standard, right? Even if you feel that something is not quite right, but the school says, no, he will improve, she will improve, I would still suggest follow your intuition and get your child assessed for any kind of an issue, any kind of a disability, whatever that may be. Right? So if you feel that there's so much more that I would like to know and so much more that I would like to contribute to my child's success, not just in school years and beyond, well, you can get into my VIP group where I keep posting videos periodically to help you get more awareness, get more understanding. And also, I'm having a webinar, I'm having a masterclass on the 5th of June, wherein which I'll be giving you 3 secrets how you can empower yourself and get your child onto the pathway of being a curious reader, curious learner, which is very, very important to have success in school and beyond. So don't forget to get into my VIP group. And if you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you get notified each time I post a video. So until then, until my next video, I'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.